Right, welcome back to our course. In this particular video, we'll be looking at on specific outcome one. What we mean by specific outcome is of all the learning unit standards that we also have sub units, subtopics within them, so that we look at a special thing that takes up part of the whole particular topic. So that's what we then call specific outcomes. This is what you are expected to know if you are to say you know that particular unit standard. So our specific outcome one here is to describe what software diagnostic tools for single user and multi-user computer operating systems are. What we should actually be able to do is to have a description that outlines the function and operation of software diagnostic tools, and a description that identifies the factors influencing the selection of those particular tools. Now, first of all, let's really understand what this even really means. Remember, I already did explain to you what a software is. A software is literally in real life, it's a piece of code written in what we call programming language. It's literally a bunch of sentences that describe how a particular machine is going to work. So those could describe how, for example, an ATM will work. When you put in your card, it reads the card and accepts your PIN and can give you money. What makes it be able to do that is what we then call its software. And there are many software out there. There are such software as the one that I'm using right now, which is Microsoft Word. And then there is also the software that's making this particular computer work, which is called Windows 10. Windows 10 is then what we call the operating system. It's actually the mother of the softwares themselves, because without the operating system, there is no computer to even talk about. Then we can have other specializing software that are just meant to do specific things, such as your Windows Word, which is specifically there for you to deal with text, either writing letters, reports, and so forth. So when we then say diagnostic tools, by the word diagnostic, or how to diagnose, is actually to find a problem. We are saying software are not perfect. Just like the people who make software are not perfect, mistakes can also be made. These mistakes are what we call bugs. These mistakes might not be discovered during the making of the software, because if they are discovered there, they will be corrected. If they are not discovered, you might actually find out that when you are using that particular software, there are certain problems you encounter. How then do you sort that out? Is then using what we call diagnostic tools. These tools will help you find out exactly where the problem might be. For example, if you drive a car, you might realize that on your dashboard, there are many little warning lights. Those warning lights, some of them actually indicate that you no longer have fuel. When you no longer have fuel, it's time to fuel up your car, and then you are back to normal working of your car. It might also even tell you check engine, at which point you are then advised not to keep on driving the car, but take it to a mechanic who will take it apart and check what would be causing that particular problem. That on its own is actually a use of a diagnostic tool. It's not really solving the problem. It's finding out the problem and making sure that it warns someone who could actually solve that problem. We actually have the same particular software in our computers. And actually, what makes a car be able to do that is actually a diagnostic software. So it actually reads how the engine runs normally. Moment there is an abnormality with how the engine is running, that diagnostic software makes sure that it warns the driver and also even warns the mechanic on where to look for. Diagnostic software is literally then a piece of software that is able to diagnose, or that is able to find a problem and bring us an alert so that we can actually be able to solve that particular problem. When we then look at computers, there are many diagnostic problems, such as a small built-in program called check disk. Check disk will allow you to be able to check if your if your disks on your computer, let me just show you what I mean by that so that I don't confuse you. You see, these are the disks that are there on my computer. Inside the computer, they literally look like disks. But of course, we can see them because they are closed up inside my computer and they are part of my hard drive. But if you know the physical look of a hard drive, you know that a hard drive actually has got disks inside. And of these disks, I've got 4 of them currently on my computer. I might then find out that my computer is now very slow. Part of the reasons why my computer could be very slow could be a malfunction of one or all of these particular disks. Once there's any malfunction of any of these disks, it will be very important for me to solve that malfunction. But how then do I find that there's a malfunction? There's then this little software which is built into our operating system, into our Windows 10 or Windows 7, Windows 8, to make sure that it checks all these particular things. This little program is then called check disk, and this check disk is a diagnostic program. So it is able to then check if there are any problems with my disk, and then if there are any problems, it can then solve them. There are many types of these diagnostic programs, but all of them actually are written for the express purpose of locating problems with the software, hardware, or any combination of such in a system or even a network system. So preferably a diagnostic program provides solutions to the user so that you can solve them. I'm sure you have had a situation where your computer couldn't connect to the internet, and then you can actually it will say troubleshoot. You have the time you find your computer saying troubleshoot. Troubleshoot, it says, once you click this, you are giving me permission as your computer to find the problems with myself. Once I find these problems, I'll give you certain solutions to the screen to see if you can solve them. All right? Then once you can solve them, we then make sure that things happen. Let me just give you an example. You can see right now my Wi-Fi is working perfectly. What I can then do is to just come here, network and internet settings, and go to change adapter settings. I would advise you not to do this unless if you're brave enough to be able to return it back. So I'll just go on and disable this particular network device. Once I've done so, I'm no longer connected to the internet. Now, this could be a problem for me because maybe I don't know when this happened. Maybe someone else was using my computer and did this by mistake, or there's a shortcut that I don't know that was used that deactivated this. Now, the issue of the matter is now, how do I bring my computer back online? Normally, I'll then go on and press on this, and it will tell me, you are not connected to any networks, but there is this button. It will then say troubleshoot. Once I say troubleshoot, it will say detecting problems as you just saw. Then it says select the network adapter you want to troubleshoot. For it to be faster, let me just say Wi-Fi because I know that's where I caused the problem. It will say detecting problems. Then it will say the Wi-Fi adapter is disabled. It's now telling me things that I might not know at this particular time. Of course, this problem, I'm the one who caused it, so I know. Then I can say try these repairs as an administrator. So now it's going to force my computer to return back my network adapter and make sure that it's on. As all this is happening, I'm sure you can see in the background, a lot of things are changing. Now I'm back and I'm connected back online. Then it will say the troubleshooter made some changes to your system. Try attempting the task you were trying before. Problems found were that the Wi-Fi adapter is disabled and the problem has been fixed. Now I can actually close, or I can actually give feedback, or I can view the information. Once I close this, I'll notice right here at the corner that I'm back online. I'm actually connected to the internet. So there we have it. We have actually learned how a diagnostic tool actually works in real life. So whenever you're using your computer and you see where it's written troubleshoot, it's literally going to run a diagnostic tool. Diagnostic tool is literally going to find the problems. Once it finds the problems, it can give you warnings, and you can actually use those particular warnings to solve your particular problem. Just like what we did with our network issue just a moment ago. As you can see, my Wi-Fi is back on and I'm happy. So this is an example of what we call a diagnostic tool. There are many diagnostic tools that are available on the market, and you read about them in this particular workbook, or you actually find them on the internet in your researches and so forth. I cannot explain all these particular things in this particular one video. What you then do is to read through them. If ever you have any questions, you know how to reach me, and I'll be able to answer you in those particular problems that you have. For now, let's end this video here, and you complete the reading and you'll be able to complete the assessments. And once you are stuck on an assessment, do not hesitate to get in touch with me on our WhatsApp group.